Now, it's fair to say we haven't had the best British summer, but do not worry, because Phil Vickery is bringing some Spanish sunshine to the kitchen. Look at him.
Here he is.
Look at him. Phil, what are we cooking?
Paella. Here it is. Look at this little beauty here. Now,
How do you pronounce it?
Paella.
Paella.
Vickery.
Vickery, yeah.
Oh, sorry.
V-I-C-K-E-R-Y.
Yeah, I see what you
Paella.
Apparently it's going to be 30 degrees next week, or 32 degrees next week, end of next week.
No way.
Yeah.
Yes!
I'm a part-time farmer, so I like to look at that sort of thing.
Yes!
Very sad. Anyway, now I've had this dish a couple of times in Spain. Once was in Seville when we cooked this morning, years ago, and we cooked it, I think it was, I can't remember now, but it was in an orange grove, and the whole point was, paella was a pan, and they put all these ingredients in, and then the smoke was meant to go into the rice. That gives it a smoky flavour. It was delicious. But I also had it in Mallorca a few years later with the kids when they were little. Neither time did I have chorizo in it at all. I've always been told, no, you must never put it in, especially in Spain. I'm sure there are regional variations. And I was fishing in Spain a few weeks ago with the lads.
Was that with Winnie?
No, we went bass fishing with Winnie. Oh. And we went to Alaska with Winnie, but this was the lads just fishing.
Boys' trip.
Boys' trip.
Oh, yeah.
And we had paella there in the middle of Spain, no chorizo. So there you go. Anyway, that's just, I'm sure there are variations. Very simple dish. Now, the whole point about it is you cook it on top of the stove. You can put it in the oven. You shouldn't really need to cover it, but sometimes you do. It's really up to you. Basic stuff. Oh, I'm so sorry.
Was it lacking something?
Some extra parsley. Was it? Lovely. Do you want your napkin? Oh, there we go. Do you want your napkin? There you go.
Yeah, it's so good, isn't he?
There you
it's
go.
so good.
So
it's the price of it, though.
It's a very simple dish. And now, in Spain, they eat it with also squid, and they also put wild rabbit in there as well. I do like wild rabbit in mine, however, you can't really get that in many supermarkets at the moment, so we're going to do chicken instead. In this pan here, I have red peppers, garlic and onions. Cook them down. Now, I like to get them really soft. The longer you can cook them for, even with a lid on, it's a bit like French onion soup. Put a lid on, the onions soften, and they get that lovely, almost like unctuous sort of syrupy flavour and texture to them. Similarly with peppers, you do the same thing. If you rush cook them, they'll never soften. You need to gently cook it. Okay, don't look at me like that.
Gently.
Gently cook it.
Phil, I'm enjoying your mussels.
They're nice. They are pretty good, actually, I have to say. Here's the thing, you always put them at the end. You never put them at the start, or they'll overcook. We'll come on to that in a second. So in here, I've got tomato paste to the peppers and onions, and then perhaps smoked paprika. Now, this stuff is so intensely strong, it will blow your head off, and it really overpowers everything. So you need a very small amount. So even this dish, which is for 4 people, as you've got there, 1 level teaspoon, like that, is plenty. Any more than that, and it will just, honestly, destroy every other flavour. Now, I was once told in Hungary, you never fry paprika, so I'm trying not to do that, because it takes on an acrid, bitter flavour. So you mustn't do that. So in that case, I'm going to put the rice straight in, so I don't want the paprika to burn. Now, what you're going to do is this short grain rice, a bit like pudding rice, as in the UK, rice pudding, similar sort of rice. It's a short grain rice, and it has a lot of a starchy texture to it, so it gives the end dish almost, brings it all together. It's not like basmati that falls apart.
No,
steamed.
It's lovely.
It sticks together.
Could you use normal rice, or it just won't work?
You can do. You just won't get that texture. Right. That soft, sort of really sort of juicy texture.
Can I ask you an etiquette question?
Etiquette? I'm not good at that, mate.
I take it it's fork and it's hands with paella.
That's right.
It's fork and hands.
Oh, yes.
You've got to get in there with your hands as well.
So you open up the mussels, and obviously the prawn's always kept whole.
OK.
So you'll see the rice is now coating in that. Now, I do add saffron to this. Now, saffron's extremely expensive, but it's an integral part of paella, and you use a very, very small amount. When I was a young kid, we remember those are old enough. Remember when you cut your knee, you had TCP on your knee. To me, it has that flavour profile if you use too much. It is so strong, like smoked paprika, but a little bit does go a long way. And in things like this, it's an absolute must. I know it's expensive, but a little, as I said, goes a long way. Saffron goes in. Stock cubes, anyone you like. I always put a stock cube in because rather than using just salt and pepper, sometimes a stock cube gives a more rounded flavour of seasoning, not just that salt and pepper kick.
Is that a chicken stock?
That's chicken stock. Or fish stock will do, because you've got fish in it as well.
Yeah.
Or even vegetable stock, if you're making a vegetarian one, which you don't need to put fish into at all. Just keep it as vegetables.
Can I ask you a stock cube question?
Fire away.
The powdery ones versus the kind of jelly ones.
Right, it's different. There's so many different types on the market at the moment, and now you get like a thickened gel, you get a soft squidgy one like that one there, and you get the crumbly ones, which you all know about. I tend to use the crumblier ones purely because, to me, there's less salt in them. So cheap stock cubes can, in a 10-gram cube, 5 grams of that can be salt, or 4 grams, which is half. so it's too salty. So I tend to find the jelly stocks can be quite salty as well. So be very careful when you're adding salt at the start, always at the end. I tend to use a crumbly type of stock purely because I know exactly what the flavour is. OK, then you can always add it afterwards. But some of them are very salty, so be careful.
One last question, because I know my questions are becoming annoying there. Do you suck the brains out of the prawn head?
That's purely up to you.
Do you?
I love it. Yeah,
that's where all the flavour is, isn't it?
Absolutely. It's delicious. I mean, once you've cooked it in that stock as well. There you go.
Yeah. That was a bit...
You shouldn't have asked that, should you? Anyway.
It's OK.
So here we go. Then after that, I'm going to add boiling water. So to put the water in, just so it covers the rice. OK, there's no real hard and fast rules with that. You can always add a little bit more later on. And then into that goes the chicken. There'll be chicken thighs here. We have no skin on or taken or deboned.
You wouldn't cook the chicken beforehand then?
No,
straight in there?
You just pop that into there because you're going to cook it for about 25 minutes, something like that. Prawns go in. I'm using shell on prawns here at the same time. In they go. Again, these will cook because they are protected by the shell. If you're using prawns that don't have a shell on, then I would put them in a bit later on, as we're going to come on to in a second, with the mussels, because they'll take very little cooking at all. Now, you can either cook this on top of the stove, it's up to you, or you can pop it in the oven. Sometimes the lid on, you shouldn't really put lid on it. I do sometimes because it just steams the top of the meat, certainly, and the vegetables and the fish. Don't need to do that. Now, this one here is halfway through. So after about 10, 15 minutes, you'll end up this one here, and you can see that just there.
Oh, look at that.
OK.
It's pretty, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm just going to break this up a bit. So you will see, so that's what we're after, that lovely texture. Like that, see that there? And then what you need to do is add a little touch more water if it's reduced. This one has, not a lot.
Shame the crew don't like fish, isn't it?
Hey, I've cooked two for them. Cooked already.
Have you?
Yeah.
You're such a nice man.
Now, at this point, halfway through, I then add the mussels. So they're not overcooked. Dot those on top, like that. Or you can use squid, it's up to you, or you can use clams. Lid back on there, back in the oven. I'll just cover a piece of tin foil, just till they open up. And it'll end up like this little beauty here. And this is one that we made earlier, in good Blue Peter style. And you'll see, this is what we're after, this lovely texture. Ready?
Oh,
and there it is.
That.
Now, more olive oil, the better, I think, because it keeps it really juicy. All you need is a squeeze of lemon, as you've got on yours. On there like that, Jose.
Lovely.
Bit of extra parsley on there as well. I like to serve at the table, help yourself, you can much as little as you like. And I'll just lift this up and you'll see.
Oh, wow.
That is what we're after. So a lovely, oily, beautiful, textured rice.
So you go right over it with lots of olive oil at this stage,
You can add more, or you can add more at the start and just stir that in. But there it is. That's it. Dead simple. Are you going to cook this at home, Josie? Yes, Philip.
Do you know what? Yes, I am. And I'm going to put chilli olive oil on it.
OK, cool. Perfect.
Yeah.
So there's my little input.
See, look at that. Don't need me, do you?
So you're allowed to improvise then? You're allowed to improvise with it.
You are. I mean, the purists will sneer, and sometimes I do get a bit of a shoe-in on social media because I do things slightly differently. But for me, it's about flavour. It's about getting things in the right time, the right place, and you can do it. There you go.
And it's gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Thank you, Mr. Vickery.
Thank you, Sunshine.
Pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It's really delicious. Try it. For details of all, today's recipe and all the recipes, just go to our This Morning Chefs on the free This Morning app. It's all there for you.
Yeah.